Welcome into WTOL 11 News at 6. I'm Michael Sandlin. Thank you so much for joining us. Hockey fans from around the region are in downtown Toledo right now for a playoff game between the Toledo Walleye and the Fort Wayne Comets. Chase Bachman is live in the Huntington Center about an hour before puck drop. Chase, what's the energy like out there?
Well, Mike, the energy is pretty good right now here inside the Huntington Center. Like you said, puck drop at 7:15, Walleye versus the Comets, game 2 of the divisional final series. Walleye took game 1 of the series last night. That was an incredible game if you were here for it. They won 5-4, but it was a wild ride to get there. The team was down a goal 3 different times, and every time they equalized. Walleye have now won 5 games in a row to start the playoffs. Compare that to last year where they won the first 8 games to start. This team has a chance to do the same thing, but that starts with winning game 2 tonight. But as we mentioned, puck drop at 7:15 tonight, game 2 of the divisional final between the Walleye and Fort Wayne. We'll have more coming up later tonight in sports. But for now, reporting live from inside the Huntington Center, Chase Bachman, WTOL 11. Mike?
All right, thanks, Jace. Turning to your forecast, this might be one of the gloomier starts to May. But meteorologist John Birchfield joins us with more. John, is this chill going to last?
Yeah, Michael, and tomorrow's actually going to be a little bit worse. I think we're all grateful that hockey is an indoor sport because it is going to be wet and windy Sunday. We're going to be seeing gusts to 35 miles an hour with northeast winds ramping up and the return of some steady rain. Now, the rain has taken a brief pause, and looking through that Elk and Elk downtown camera, those heading to the Walleye game likely will dodge those raindrops at least for a couple more hours before additional showers roll in tonight. Now, if you live south and east of Toledo, you've probably been seeing rain for a good portion of the day with that northeast wind off the lake in Erie and Huron counties back towards Seneca and Wyandotte counties. We're continuing to see some light showers that have been persistent. Nothing real heavy, but still a gray and overcast sky and a very dismal look. Low pressure is going to be very stubborn to get out of here, and we're going to see additional rain that'll move in tonight through Sunday. And Sunday is going to be even colder with temperatures in the low 50s and even windier. Northeast winds sustained at 10 to 20. Gusting to 35. Our next batch of rain showers, we likely stay dry through the evening, at least in Toledo, but there will be some light rain south and east. And overnight tonight through Sunday morning, more rain returns. I'll let you know how much rain to expect and also a Mother's Day warm up coming up in just a bit. Michael?
All right, John, we'll see you then. We've been working on a developing story from Friday morning after a City of Toledo forestry truck was involved in a fatal crash. According to the traffic crash report from Toledo Police, the forestry truck was noted as, quote, having failure to yield, while the motorcycle driven by Brad McClure did not have a contributing circumstance. Toledo Police haven't released who was at fault in the crash. The report says the truck was turning left when the city workers saw the motorcycle. That's when the report says, quote, the truck began back to the right, end quote, before the 2 vehicles collided. 55-year-old McClure died at the scene. President Donald Trump is in Palm Beach this weekend as work in Washington continues on multiple fronts. The Trump administration has announced its budget plans with spending cuts while asking the Supreme Court to give DOJ personal data of millions of Americans. CBS is tracking the latest.
President Trump left his Palm Beach Golf Club Friday, while in Washington, his administration took another swing at giving DOJ more power. In an emergency appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, the Trump administration asked to clear the way for the Department of Government Efficiency to access sensitive Social Security data with personally identifiable information on millions of Americans, supposedly to find fraud. Billionaire Elon Musk has said he's winding down his time with DOJ, but the administration says the department's work to cut government waste will continue.
He was treated very unfairly by I guess you'd call it the public, by some of the public, not by all of it.
Friday, the president also gave Congress his budget blueprint, calling for $163 billion in spending cuts. It targets public health, education, and clean energy programs, but would not touch defense, border security, Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. In an executive order this week, Trump defunded PBS and NPR, accusing them of bias in their reporting. It affects public TV and radio stations across the country that are supported in part by the federal government.
I'm still really befuddled by all of this and the potential damage.
But the president is gearing up for a military parade in Washington with thousands of troops, dozens of aircraft, and tanks. It's planned for June 14th, the 250th anniversary of the Army and the president's 79th birthday. One defense official tells CBS News early estimates peg the cost at tens of millions of dollars. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
On social media yesterday, President Trump renewed his war with Harvard University, saying he'll revoke its tax-exempt status. Harvard's president told the Wall Street Journal taking that step would be, quote, highly illegal. Happening today, in the wake of President Trump's deportation push, Toledoans voiced their support for migrant rights. Flock attended a large crowd of demonstrators as they demanded immigration reform. The focus of today's rally was economic reforms to stop incentivizing illegal immigration and providing amnesty to people already in the country. They say change is necessary and they want the community to help.
They can do something. They can march, they can demonstrate, and they can put pressure on their elected officials, and that they can vote. They need to go to the ballot box, and those new people that have just turned 18, register them to vote.
Among today's speakers were Marcy Kaptur, Wade Kapsakavich, and other local leaders. Toledo police are investigating this weekend after one person was shot in central Toledo. According to TPD, the shooting happened around 10 last night near the Collingwood Green Apartments by Rogan Way. We're told the victim was riding a scooter at the time. They were taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We checked this afternoon with the Lucas County Jail. There have not been any arrests. An update today in a tragic accident on Secor Road we've been following since the story broke last week. Northwest Baptist Church pastor Andrew Edwards is on the road to recovery. He was seriously hurt when a tree fell onto his car he and a fellow church member were in. Richard Miller, the member, died in the crash. Pastor Edwards says he's grateful for the prayers and support.
I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for your prayers and your thoughtfulness. I know a lot has happened in the last week, but God certainly has worked. So I hope you have a good service tonight. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. God bless you.
Kids in Oregon braved the rainy weather today for a chance to reel in the big one. After stocking a local pond with over 800 rainbow trout, 50 kids competed in a free fishing derby with the goal of catching the biggest fish in their age group and having a chance to win a new fishing rod.
It's just fun to catch that first fish. I'm sure we all remember the fight and the pulling it in and the tug on the line. So that's a lot of fun for the kids. And if they catch one, they want to keep catching more.
The Parks Department hopes to do another derby next spring and maybe even again this fall. The Red Cross went around the community this weekend to make sure people have smoke alarms handy. The Sound the Alarm event has volunteers from the Red Cross visiting Toledo neighborhoods to make sure homes have working smoke alarms and offering free installations. Mark Tomosek said there is a need for smoke detectors in the area, and it is meant to be a free and convenient way to be safe.
The most important thing here, too, is that we make their homes safe. When a fire breaks out, they've got basically 2 minutes to get out of the house, and the sooner they know that there's a fire in the home, and the sooner they get out, the better, the chances are that they're going to survive just fine.
They also left door hangers with information on alarm installation, and if you want to learn more or want an alarm installed yourself, you can call them at 419-329-2900. John?
Well, grab the umbrella because we're not done with the rain just yet. A stubborn area of low pressure is going to bring steady showers and a cold northeast wind. I'll have the rest of your weekend forecast plus a warm up. That's coming up next. Well, we get to enjoy a brief break from the wet weather this evening, but more rain on the way. Sunday is going to be wet and windy, and in fact, the weather tomorrow is going to be considerably worse feeling than it was today. We're going to see gusts ramping up to 35 miles an hour, and the rain is going to be steadier and a bit more widespread. Now, if you live south and east of Toledo, especially near the lake shore, that is likely the sight you're seeing in the sky. It's overcast, it's windy, and there's some persistent showers. It is expected to stay cloudy south and east of the Maumee River. Areas like Erie and Huron counties still seeing some showers. Back into Seneca County, also a bit of drizzle. Now, the good news is the Toledo Metro has dried out for dinner plans and evening activities, but you'll still want that jacket. 52 right now in Toledo, only 49 in Bowling Green, and it's chillier south and east, only 46 degrees in Huron County as a result of those persistent rain showers. Still seeing some light rain between Port Clinton and Sandusky, back towards the city of Tiffin as well. The bigger picture shows a stubborn area of low pressure over the Ohio Valley that is churning out lots of showers, and rain is going to be the story for the next 48 to 72 hours. So the hour-by-hour forecast, we do enjoy a mainly dry evening. There will still be some periodic light rain south and east of the river, but as this low advances into the central portions of the state, we are going to see some steady to moderate rain by Sunday morning. That rain is expected to continue through lunchtime, so I'd recommend some indoor plans for tomorrow. By late afternoon, we could briefly dry out. However, into Monday, there will be another chance for some periodic showers and perhaps even an isolated rumble of thunder. Now, the one thing you'll notice Monday, the rain's going to be a lot more sparse and scattered, so it's not going to be a washout. So how much rain can you expect? Latest data showing about 1 inch of rain, slightly higher amounts possible near the lake shore in south and east. And this computer model in particular actually shows Toledo getting a little bit less than 1 inch of rainfall. Sunday's forecast. Well, the rain is only one part of our weather story. The wind is another. Northeast winds are going to make for a chilly feel, and gusts to 35 miles an hour will be possible, and that means it will be colder near the lake shore. High temperatures topping out in the lower 50s, and I really can't guarantee too many dry hours tomorrow. You will notice tomorrow's temperature is going to be in the 40s in Port Clinton. If you live further south, could be a couple degrees warmer, but still a pretty icky feeling day. In terms of those winds coming in off the lake, gusts to 30 to 35 miles an hour will be possible. That low pressure system keeps periodic showers in the forecast both Monday and Tuesday. We at least climb up to the 60s those days. By midweek, we finally shake the wet weather, and that's a sign towards a pattern shift that'll turn us milder by late week. As we open up the biggest week in American birding Friday, temperatures soar to 70 degrees, and that is a sign of a warmer Mother's Day and an overall quieter and drier weather pattern. Now, the only real road bump in this forecast is Thursday, with northeast winds contributing to a cooler day, but the extended forecast does bring us back up to the mid-70s, possibly even pushing 80 degrees with quite a few dry and sunny days ahead. Chase?
All right, John, thanks. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. The Walleyes playoff run continues. Walleye continue to take on the Fort Wayne Comets. Game 2 of the divisional final series. Puck drop is set for 7:15 tonight. As we mentioned earlier, the Walleye took Game 1 of the series. It was a wild ride. Walleye ended up winning 5-4 to take the first game of the series. They were down a goal 3 different times in the game, but came back to tie. Silas, if you can hear me, I asked whether or not it was tees or straight sports, and I didn't hear anything. You got to communicate that. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. Welcome back. Walleye's playoff journey continues, taking on the Fort Wayne Comets tonight. Game 2 of the divisional series. Walleye took game 1 of the series last night, and it was a wild ride. They win the game 5-4, and it was an incredible game. They were down a goal 3 different times in the game, but came back to tie every time. Matt Anderson's goal in the final seconds of the second period gave them a 5-4 lead. They held that for the entire third period to end up getting the win. Team hadn't played since April 22nd when they swept their first round opponents. Head coach Pat Mikish said after the game Friday night there was a great energy inside Huntington and is glad the guys picked up where they left off.
Both teams were getting their opportunities, so I don't think anybody felt safe, with a goal or a 1-goal lead, and so it was going to be a little bit of finding our game. I think I'm a little rusty without the live bullets here the last few days, but ultimately we had some big time plays. And used our skill and, kind of got to our game as it went on. And I really loved our mentality in the third.
And one of the other big storylines from this playoff run is the return of Tyler Spezia. He hadn't played since late February because of an injury, but he got the all clear to play again for game 1, and he was great. When the Walleye were down 3-2, he came up with a goal to tie it. Spezia said after the game how much he appreciated being back on the ice in front of the home crowd.
It was cool. I don't know if I've ever heard it as loud as it was when I got called, and even on the assist, I kind of just waited to say my name and I got a good roar. Yeah, I feel all that, and it's a reason why I came back here. The love here is unmatched, and they've been great with me and to me this whole break here that I've had.
As we mentioned, game 2 puck drop is set for 7:15. We'll have more on the game coming up tonight at 11. But until then, reporting live from inside the Huntington Center, Chase Bachman, WTOL 11. That's all for sports.
Hi guys, coming up this week on Leading Edge, it was almost 2 years ago when the University of Toledo's athletic director Brian Blair said right here on this show that he wanted the Glass Bowl to be so much more. And later this month, it happens with Glass City Live. But the real story is in the why he says it needs to happen.
I don't take no for an answer very easily. Nothing in my life has been very easy, and so I think you build up a callus to fight through adversity and going through hard things. I think that's what our student athletes do on a regular basis. So far be it from us as adults to not do that and not push through and try to achieve what we think is worthy.
Plus, for 8 years, Buckeye Real Estate Group's been a part of the St. Jude Dream Home mission. And his involvement, owner Mike White, says it's all about the inspiration for him and his team.
There's occasions where these people think these tough construction guys, you look at them and they got a tear in their eye. So they're here for the right reasons. They're doing it for the right reasons, and it's hit home because most of these guys are family guys.
Find Leading Edge as a podcast on WTOL 11 Plus and Sunday morning on WTOL 11 at 8:30.
Welcome back in. From tragedy to transformation, we're getting a look at changes coming to a local campground. Recently, there have been a series of drownings at the Monroe County North Toledo KOA. Andre Norrell shows us what's changed.
It's a new season for KOA in Monroe County. With it comes new beginnings. In recent years, the campground made headlines for a series of drownings. A 13-year-old boy nearly drowned in 2021 and was left in an unresponsive state. The next year, 15-year-old Jalen Hill died after slipping under the water. And in 2023, 18-year-old Anthony Shores Jr. drowned while trying to swim across the campground's pond. That's the same year the KOA shut the pond down and filled it in. Now is breaking ground on a safer alternative.
This will be probably one of the largest projects that the company has ever done at any of our properties.
The campground is building a multi-million-dollar water recreation area. The space is fully redesigned. It includes 2 new pools, a splash pad, a concession stand, and more family-friendly amenities.
This campground has generally been regarded as a great, fun family getaway for people local to this area. And swimming is absolutely an integral part of the camping experience, and it is going to revitalize that camping experience for our guests that have been coming here for generations.
According to the KOA, the project is part of a larger goal. The campground aims to become the premier camping destination between Detroit and Toledo and to restore community trust.
Really, the big thing is to bring the campground back up to its former glory. You know, it's really hard to lose your biggest attraction, and we want to bring something back that'll be even better.
While the new water features won't open this summer, construction is underway. And WTOL 11 did ask whether the new water attractions would have lifeguards, but the answer was unclear. Will there be lifeguards at the pool?
We're going to follow all the required laws set forth by the state of Michigan, Monroe County, and the township of Petersburg.
Okay. Is that lifeguards or?
We're going to follow all of the laws required by the state of Michigan, the county of Monroe, and the city of Petersburg.
The KOA says the new water attractions could be ready as early as next summer. Until then, the campground is open for the season with other upgraded features already in place. In Monroe County, Andre Knowles, WTOL 11.
It's almost time for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The 151st Kentucky Derby is set for today at Churchill Downs. Post time is just before 7 p.m. and all eyes will be on the favorite, a horse named Journalism. The Derby kicks off the Triple Crown and brings all the tradition. We're talking mint juleps, big hats, and of course, big bets. You can now reserve a ticket for the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. The home and other fantastic prizes could be yours for just $100. The home is located in Perrysburg, just down the street from the high school. The Dream Home is being built by Buckeye Real Estate Group. Now, when you reserve your ticket, you're also entered to win a 2025 Honda Civic LX from Jim White Honda. Now, be sure to reserve your ticket today, and you can call 1-800-831-7061. Coming up this month, bird is the word over the next few weeks here in Northwest Ohio. Hundreds of birders from all over the world are coming to the area to take advantage of the biggest week in American birding. Soon, many warblers and songbirds will be taking up temporary nests for migration. Kimberly Kaufman from the Black Swamp Bird Observatory says this is the biggest event of the year for bird watchers.
It's the warblers that people love to come here for. It's a small family of colorful birds. They're small birds, they're very active, they sing incredible songs, and if you work really hard during migration, you can see 37 different kinds of warblers.
The biggest week in American birding happens in Oak Harbor from May 9th to the 18th. John, you could say this is their cardinal event, if you will.
It definitely is, and temperatures are going to be taking flight this week. We definitely could use some of those colorful birds to brighten up the landscape. Gray and overcast for now, but the biggest week starts Friday, and it's going to be sunny.
All right, everybody, we'll see you again coming up at 11. Take care.